Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Now, today I wanted to touch on some stuff that you guys have been telling me, mostly friends and certain other people that I know or that I have spoken to or communicated with in some way who watch the channel. And they've either asked me for my opinion on some of the stuff that's happened with YouTube, more recently in regards to the stuff that they said about notifications and all that kind of stuff. I can sum that up quite quickly by going, notifications should be for people who want to be specifically and obviously notified at all times. And so, yeah, they should be, if you click the bell and all the rest of it, then you should be presented with those. Notifications outside of that, in my opinion, serve no purpose. They should not be sent out. There you go. Because if you've subscribed to a channel, then they should turn up in your sub feed. And you should see more of their content because you have subscribed to them. So the fact that videos aren't turning up on people's home feeds or sub feeds rather, notifications are only going out to certain people. You're not being told when videos are coming out and things like that. Videos are not showing up on time as well, where I've had some of you guys come to me and say that even though on Facebook, which I personally curate, is not linked to YouTube, my link for the video has come out, then everybody, they've been clicking on it, and yet the video has not been released by the scheduling system on YouTube, which is kind of shitty. It's a bit of a problem. But in regards to that side of things, it's YouTube. They've said that they're aiming to fix some of the bugs and other things that are there. Some of the other stuff is just plain stupid, and you would have liked to think that they would start listening to especially viewers and things, considering that they are facing continual shake-up over the things that they are doing. And how daft some of them are, but it's going to be a long-running process in regards to those things. And as I've said in other videos, I personally am going to persist within the system because that is a key kind of element of getting through to a point where change happens. You need to work within the current system that you have to promote the change and to grow and develop with that, rather than just try and go outside the system and push back in on it, because that's how you get riots starting, when you've got people wanting to work outside of a system because they don't like the system, and then they try and push back against that established system, and rather unsurprisingly, the established system has the support, which is why I'm still here. Now, the other side of things is people asking either how these changes and how some of these things that are going on affect me, or, which I've gone through in other videos as well, but more stuff has come out since those videos, since I did my roadmap for YouTube. And then the other group of people who have been saying that they've been unsubscribed from me still, and that was a bug that they were supposed to have sorted out a while ago, that they will click the thumbs up, or the dislike, thumbs down in some instances, because some of my friends are dicks. They will click those buttons, and yet it won't show up for me as anyone clicking that, and it's as much as likes and dislikes and are not the largest metrics at all for engagement. There's that, and again, some of the stuff the I see is that from the back office side of things of YouTube, the creator studio is looking week on week. Some weeks, whole load of new subscribers, which again, hello to those people who have subscribed more recently. Thank you very much for subscribing, and glad to have you around to be part of the conversation. But in regards to the kind of trends between weeks and between videos, even, it's one video does very well, usually a Conan Exiles video, or one or other coaching videos that is very evergreen, that people are always looking at. And those videos will be promoted, and I'll see those in, even myself, or in other places, and they'll pop up. But then everything else is still being suppressed. People are saying that they're not seeing them in their sub feed. People are not finding them, and it can change week on week. And yet before we had the monetization window, even if we weren't really able to monetize stuff, we could see if we had a yellow or a green or what was it, black, a completely grayed out dollar sign, so that we could, just even if you weren't looking to monetize your videos, you could flick it on, see what was there, see what YouTube was suggesting that you would be, and you could leave that on until you set it up, and you could let it run and whatever else, or as with what I did for a while, until they stripped it of me again, had monetization running, and yet having it stripped away now and having no indicator at all, having the entire tab removed even, now means that every single one of my videos, I can't tell if it's being suppressed at all, if it's being worked with, if it's being, the only indication I have is how many views and how much watch time people are putting towards the video. If you guys have liked it, then there might be a few likes on the video. If you guys have found it engaging in some way or whatever else, then you guys are putting stuff across in the comments. And it's a case of going, right, well, I can see elements of engagement, but with some videos that, I would have thought would at least have done as well as the week before, that then people, I'm like, oh, it hasn't done as well, it's not reached as many people. And then you've got people coming to me and saying, well, it's just not showing up. It's just not there. I had to go to your channel page and then actually dig through your videos on the videos thing, or find the playlist that I was interested in for that video to really be there for me to view. It wasn't in my my subs feed, and it's like, well, that's a bit of an issue for me. Not because I'm not monetized anymore, so I'm not too worried about money, but in regards to promoting me and what I do, promoting the ideas that I speak on, addressing things that people bring to me, sharing tips and things from coaching methodology or best practice that I can bring to you guys that will hopefully help you kind of find your way through something that might have been difficult, that maybe you can't afford coaching because it can be quite pricey. And so having just those little bits and pieces that you can apply to your life might help you through the other side of stuff. That's why I started doing this channel. That's why I ended up going, do you know what, I don't want to edit stuff. I don't want to edit it excessively, because the more I edit, the less genuine I'm going to be. I'm going to fall into that kind of hole where you've got a lot of people who are doing kind of jump cuts every other sentence or so, and it's like, well, I don't want to do that. I want to put myself across as a real person living in the real world and dealing with these things through a set of ideas and frameworks and stuff that work. And so then looking at what we've got here, where they've said, oh, well, the monetization and all of that kind of thing is completely removed from the discovery system, and yet even large creators who have been on this platform for a very long time, the most prominent one who actually made a point of commenting on the drop in views and the drop in kind of finding and reception of their content, Philip DeFranco, a little while ago put out his video on this, where he's like, look, we're being demonetized, we're seemingly being suppressed, and whilst the demonetization isn't as big an issue because of the diversification he's got in place, the not being found by your audience when your audience has been growing and growing and growing, that's troubling for someone of his size. But then again, imagine how much more troubling that is for someone of my size. Since the beginning of the year, we've jumped past, end of last year, we rolled from, I think it was 60 subscribers up over 100, and then from there we've progressed up past 150, And yet now this has happened. Some of this stuff has started happening again. We seem to have plateaued at about 160, so just over 160, when we were gaining a lot fairly readily for a while. And it's like, I can't tell if it's just because of one video that we're being punished, or whether or not it's a case of kind of, oh well, these Conan Exiles videos are doing very well because of the way that they're trending with other stuff, so they're going to get pushed and everything else is going to get ignored, and that's why we're seeing it. One video did very well, and so that's being picked up, and the rest is being left to one side. It's troubling, and again, the lack of transparency, the lack of functional kind of feedback from YouTube, and how, as with the subscriptions and notifications thing, some of their policies just make no sense at all, and how they seem to be devoid of any kind of appreciation of who is using their platform, how it's being used, and who wants to do more with what. It's something that is troubling and is going to run into kind of problems moving forward as larger creators do continue to kind of shift off YouTube as their main focus. We've seen an awful lot of the gaming YouTubers, some of the most watched people on the platform, doing an awful lot more on Twitch and minimizing the amount of content that they are putting out on YouTube, for instance. And it's all stuff that I hope is going to be addressed in the YouTube Creator Summit, which is happening as I create this video. But we'll have to see if anything useful comes out of that, because the last couple of times that there have been these YouTube Creator Summits, and there's been kind of backs and forths around all of this stuff, it's led to where we are now. So it doesn't seem like YouTube as a body has paid all that much attention or worked with people in any meaningful way, unless that person can make them a butt ton of money just by themselves. A la the Logan and Jake Paul situations that we've seen over the last year or so. Those guys have been worked with by YouTube, and yet they have also caused more problems with YouTube than anything, than anyone else, and yet they are still, to one extent or another, being given very limited punishments and consequences for their actions, considering that the main consequence for Logan, with all of his shit that went on, was basically that he got turned into a smaller YouTuber, even though he was already a much bigger creator that already had diversified income, and as a result it didn't hurt him at all. Hey, but anyway, guys, it's something that I'll be watching, and I didn't want to keep making those YouTube the videos just about YouTube, because I've kind of said my piece. There are a very small number of things that YouTube really need to do to fix all of these problems. The first and probably most major one being grow a backbone, but it's a situation where they are a very large company, and it's always very tough to address a large company as an individual. But also there are an awful lot of larger creators that are out of touch and do not care, or are otherwise of a very different mindset than the smaller creators that are being hurt the most by all of these changes and all these other things that are going on. So, the one thing that I can say, which I've said in other videos, kind of on this topic, is if you have smaller creators that you enjoy, if you have smaller creators that you wish to see grow and see develop, with a larger audience, a larger community, more stuff that they can offer you guys as a result, then do more in the way of, if they have Patreons, go and kind of sub to them, or whatever. If they've got merch, go buy it. And if you can't do those things in regards to providing kind of monetary support, simply put, if you like their content, even if it's just a case of you don't mind watching them, or you found that they are kind of interesting, they present a video that you enjoy or you find useful every once in a while, or whatever else, just subscribe to those people. Just because I've got so many people on my subscriptions list that I've watched maybe 3-4 videos of their entire back catalogue, and I think that those videos are ace, or I found that they've been really useful, or whatever else, and so I subscribe to those people. as said, I don't turn notifications on for anyone other than the very few, but it's a case of I've subscribed to those people, their subscriber count goes up, and even if YouTube wants to dick around with monetization in regards to having the subscriber requirement and the watch time requirement, as far as I'm aware, for things like sponsorships that you can apply for and things like that, it's still a case of once you hit the 1,000 subscribers, whether you are remonetized or not, you can look for sponsorships through YouTube and through Google, the Google side of things, to kind of help you develop, help you grow, gain you some money and whatever else, as well as things like, I think Super Chat is also now it is at 1,000 subscribers. I think I could be wrong on that, but it's a case of if you've got those people that you care about, that you find interesting, or even if you're literally just watching them because they are the opposite opinion to you and you're looking to enrich and bolster your own opinions by going, no, this person is wrong, subscribe to them, monitor their progress, allow them to speak more. Because the more you, as I've said before, that even if you disagree with someone, allow them to speak as much as possible, because they hang themselves on their own petard. They build their own gallows and jump off the stool on your behalf, as it were. So, support the creators on here, because otherwise, you're going to see this platform eventually, probably take a while, but it's going to eventually start eroding in ways that will impact viewers far more than just small creators aren't there to replace older or larger creators that are moving on. Larger creators are going to look for other sources and other means by which to achieve their goals, and they'll be moving on, and so it's going to become more of a barren wasteland. You're going to get less quality for what either little or a lot you put in to the platform and the people that are on it. So, it's one of these things. Subscribe to people that allows, at the very least, their metrics and their perceived influence to go up, and otherwise just be vocal to YouTube as best you can as a viewer about what they're doing. If you're sat there and you're going, well, I don't want notifications on, I don't want to be swamped with emails about certain things, but if I do say I want notifications, then it's not a case of, oh, well, am I likely to watch or not? It should just be one that's there. If I've only subscribed to someone, then I don't want the emails, but I should still be able to go to my subs feed and go to wherever else and still see it turn up. And it should turn up on time as per the stuff that's been put down by the creator. One of the things that I've heard a lot of as well is that we would absolutely love to see how our content is certified and all that kind of thing, so that we could self-certify, and then we could be punished, struck off the platform and so on if we misrepresent our content. But whether or not YouTube would be willing to do that, who knows? It would help everybody if that's what they would do, but so far we've seen that YouTube has been incredibly lazy and incredibly reactive rather than proactive to every situation that they've come across. So we'll have to see. But anyway, guys, I'd love your thoughts on all of this. If you're one of these people that's been removed from my my subscriptions, or my subscribers rather, and you've had to resubscribe, I know that there are at least 2 or 3 of you that have had this as an ongoing issue. Then I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments. And again, are you guys seeing my videos regularly pop up in your subs feed or wherever else? Because if that's not the case, then I want to see what I can do from my end, which may not be an awful lot, but see what I can do from my end to make sure that those videos turn up on time and turn up in the right places. So I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments if you've been experiencing issues, or if you've not seen a video pop up, if, like some of those people that have got in touch with me over the last week, likes aren't working. So it's a case of you guys have been liking videos and it says that it's in your liked videos on your homepage or whatever, but then on your profile page, but then I'm not seeing anything on my end, or when you go back and look at the video it still says that there are 0 likes or whatever. I'd love to hear your whether or not that's happening to you. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the video later. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you found this at all interesting, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the video later. Take care.